What if your thoughts weren't just fleeting ideas, but actual blueprints for your future? In this guide, we'll explore how the unseen energy of your mind shapes the reality you live, and how to finally use that power with clarity and purpose. We often speak about thoughts as intangible, whispers of the mind, fleeting impressions. But in the realm of quantum manifestation, thoughts are not just passive mental activity. They are energetic frequencies that ripple into the quantum field, sending out instructions to the fabric of reality itself. To understand this concept is to shift your entire relationship with your mind, to stop thinking of thoughts as mere noise, and start seeing them as creative codes. Everything you perceive in your external world is first filtered and shaped through the architecture of your inner world. This includes your beliefs, emotions, expectations, and most significantly, your recurring thought patterns. At the core of quantum manifestation is a recognition that the universe is not reacting to your words or wishes, but rather, it is mirroring your vibrational consistency, and that consistency begins with thought. Science, particularly quantum physics, has already laid some of the groundwork. At the subatomic level, particles behave according to probabilities until observed, until something or someone collapses the wave function into a defined state. This simple yet staggering truth suggests that consciousness itself plays an active role in shaping what we perceive as physical reality. But what kind of consciousness? And more practically, what kind of thinking? This is where the power of intentional thought emerges. The average human thinks over 60,000 thoughts per day, but the majority are repetitive and unconscious. Manifestation doesn't respond to occasional flashes of hope or rare moments of clarity. It responds to the undercurrent of what you truly believe, expect, and feel over and over again. If your dominant thoughts are laced with fear, scarcity, or doubt, the quantum field will return experiences that reflect those patterns, not because it is punishing you, but because it is neutral. It echoes what you project, not what you plead for. So, to begin shaping your reality through thought, the first and most essential step is awareness. Noticing your thoughts without judgment. Observing the stories you tell yourself about your life, your worth, your limitations. Are they grounded in possibility or built from past pain? Are they expanding your sense of what's available to you, or reinforcing a ceiling you unconsciously placed there long ago? This kind of self-awareness isn't about perfection. It's about realizing that you are the narrator of your own life, and every thought is another line in the script. Quantum manifestation starts to truly activate when you realize you have authorship. You can change the language. You can revise the plot. A helpful metaphor is to imagine your thoughts as a broadcast signal, constantly transmitting into a vast, intelligent field. This field, call it the quantum field, the unified field, or the matrix of possibility, is not random. It is responsive. It organizes reality based on the vibrational blueprint it receives. When you think a thought, especially one infused with emotion, it becomes a stronger signal. A clear intention paired with elevated emotion is the foundation of all effective manifestation. That's why vague affirmations often don't work. Saying, "I am wealthy," without a coherent belief or emotional match behind it, does little to alter the field. But when you begin to shift your dominant thoughts, when your inner conversation begins to sound like trust, expansion, peace, and gratitude, the signal you're sending begins to harmonize with the experiences you desire. You become a tuning fork for a different version of reality. And this shift doesn't require a sudden, massive change. Quantum reality doesn't operate like a vending machine. Insert thought, receive result. It's more subtle, more elegant. Reality bends not to your demands, but to your resonance, which is why small, consistent shifts in your thinking are incredibly powerful. Replacing one fearful thought a day with a loving one, recognizing scarcity and choosing abundance instead. These tiny changes ripple into the field, adjusting your timeline quietly, gracefully. Still, many people struggle because they try to think positively while subconsciously clinging to fear. That's why mindfulness and self-inquiry are essential. You must bring the unconscious into the light. Sit with your deeper beliefs. Ask yourself gently, what do I really think about love, money, health, success? Are my thoughts rooted in fear or trust, survival or creation? Once you identify limiting beliefs, don't fight them. That only makes them stronger. Instead, replace them by nurturing new thought patterns through repetition, visualization, and embodied feeling. That's where your power lies, not in denying reality, but in reimagining what is possible through conscious thought and emotional alignment. It's important to note, quantum manifestation is not a shortcut to avoid life's challenges. Rather, it's a path of deep responsibility. To accept that your thoughts shape reality is to let go of blame, victimhood, and passive waiting. It's to stand in the center of your life with full agency, knowing that your mind is not just reflecting the world, it's helping to create. You don't need to become a monk or a physicist to use this power. You just need to start listening to your inner dialogue with new ears. Start guiding your mental energy like a sculptor shaping clay. And most of all, start believing. Not just in manifestation, but in your ability to participate in it as a conscious co-creator. Because in the quantum world, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is built, layer by layer, in thought. If thoughts are the blueprint in quantum manifestation, then emotion is the electricity that brings that blueprint to life. It's not enough to simply think your way into a new reality. You must feel it, not someday, but now. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you think you want. It responds to the frequency you consistently emit, and your emotions are the clearest signals you send into that field. Every emotion carries a measurable vibrational frequency. States like joy, love, gratitude, and compassion resonate at high frequencies, while fear, guilt, shame, and anger vibrate at much lower levels. This isn't just metaphysical poetry, it's observable in science, particularly in fields like heart math research and kinesiology. What this means practically is that your emotional state is not just a personal experience. It is a broadcast, a language that the universe, or more accurately, the quantum field, understands. When you begin to cultivate elevated emotions, deliberately, you enter a space where manifestation accelerates. Why? Because in those states your energy becomes coherent. Your mind and heart come into alignment. You are no longer sending mixed signals, for example, thinking positive thoughts while feeling deep anxiety. Instead, your inner world becomes congruent, and the field mirrors that clarity with real shifts in your outer world. This is why visualization, when combined with genuine emotional engagement, becomes one of the most powerful tools for manifestation. If you close your eyes and simply imagine success without emotional depth, the field registers only a weak signal. But when you pair that visualization with intense gratitude, as though what you desire has already arrived, you collapse time. You begin to live in the frequency of your desired future now, and the field adjusts to bring it toward you. There's profound elegance to this process. The quantum field is nonlinear. It does not organize reality based on chronological time, but on vibrational resonance. When your emotional body fully believes and feels as though something is already true, you begin to draw that reality to you in ways that defy logic or physical sequence. This is not superstition, it's quantum coherence in action. But here lies a great challenge for many beginners: emotional self-mastery. Because while everyone wants to feel joy or abundance, most of us are addicted to emotional states we don't even realize we're sustaining. States like worry, self-pity, or resentment are familiar. And in the subconscious mind, familiarity often feels like safety. To break out of these cycles is not just about thinking positive. It's about reconditioning the body to a new emotional baseline. This requires practice, not perfection. Start by noticing your emotional triggers throughout the day. What pulls you into contraction? What evokes expansion? Your body is constantly giving you feedback. When you feel uplifted, hopeful, or at peace, your field becomes magnetic. When you sink into patterns of fear or frustration, the signal you send becomes erratic and manifestation slows. A powerful exercise is emotional rehearsal. Each morning, before your mind is flooded with the day's distractions, take a few minutes to sit still and breathe into the emotional state you want to live from. Not the one you hope to feel once your desires manifest, but the one you choose to embody right now. Imagine success, love, vitality, or whatever vision you hold, and then drop into the feeling of it already being true. Let your heart believe. Let your nervous system experience it. Do this consistently, and over time your body becomes familiar with that new emotional signature. You are literally rewriting your energetic identity. And because the quantum field responds to who you are being, not just what you are asking, in this shift is what begins to alter the fabric of your experiences. Remember, your emotions don't have to be dramatic to be powerful. Quiet peace, soft appreciation, even a simple moment of present-moment contentment, these are immensely high-frequency states. What matters is the authenticity of the feeling. You can't fake energy. The universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to vibration. And vibration is born through emotion. Also important is the understanding that you are not a victim of your emotions. You are their generator. Emotions feel automatic because they've become habitual, not because they're inevitable. And this is good news. It means you can choose, again and again, to guide your emotional energy into higher alignment, not by suppressing difficult feelings, but by feeling them fully, learning from them, and then moving into the energy of the person you are becoming. Gratitude, in particular, is a quantum superpower. When you feel grateful for something you have not yet physically received, the field interprets it as already done. Gratitude collapses the distance between you and the thing desired, because in that moment, you are not separate from it. You are one with the energy of its presence, and in the quantum world, that alignment is the seed of manifestation. So the real secret isn't to get what you want, it's to feel as though you already have it, not through delusion, but through deliberate emotional choice. You create the emotional conditions of your future before the physical proof appears. And this is where quantum manifestation becomes both mystical and incredibly grounded. You no longer chase outcomes. You generate the state of being that naturally attracts them. In the end, you must ask yourself not just, what do I want to create, but who do I choose to become, energetically, emotionally, vibrationally? Because reality will not respond to the person you were yesterday. It will meet you at the level of who you are being today. And that version of you is shaped in every breath, every thought, and above all, in every emotion you choose to embody now. To truly understand why your thoughts shape your reality, you must peer beneath them, into the silent architecture of belief. Beliefs are the subconscious programs that dictate which thoughts gain traction, which emotions feel natural, and which outcomes feel possible to you. They are the hidden scaffolding that holds up your worldview, shaping the energy you emit and what you attract from the quantum field. Here's the paradox. Most of your beliefs weren't chosen by you. They were absorbed. In childhood, when your brain was in a highly suggestible theta state, you inherited beliefs from parents, teachers, religion, media, and culture. You absorbed patterns about what's safe, what's possible, and who you are. And unless you question them, those beliefs run your life silently, just like code in a software program. In quantum manifestation, unexamined beliefs are like static interfering with your signal. You might consciously visualize success or love, but if your core belief is that you're not worthy of it, the quantum field receives a mixed message. The field doesn't manifest what you say, it reflects what you are. And who you are is governed by what you believe, consciously or not. This is why so many people struggle to manifest despite affirmations, vision boards, and positivity. The root of the signal is off. Imagine trying to tune a radio to a frequency that your system says doesn't exist. No matter how hard you try, nothing comes through clearly. The same is true with your reality. Until your internal blueprint aligns with the reality you desire, your signal won't match. Beliefs are not fixed. They feel like truth, but they're merely repeated thoughts that gained emotional momentum. This is both sobering and empowering, because once you realize that beliefs are built through repetition and emotional reinforcement, you can begin to dismantle the limiting ones and install new supportive ones. The first step is awareness. You must become a curious observer of your own mental patterns. Listen to your inner dialogue. Notice the of course statements you tell yourself. Of course it's hard for me to make money. Of course, I always get hurt. Of course I'm not that lucky. These phrases often expose core beliefs, ones that shape your energy and restrict your potential. Once identified, the next step is questioning. Is that belief actually true? Is it universally true, or just true in your experience so far? Who gave you that belief? What would change if you no longer held it? This process isn't about forcing yourself into fake positivity. It's about unlearning false limits and expanding your energetic permission slip. One powerful method is belief rewriting through evidence gathering. Once you recognize a limiting belief, begin to look for evidence of the opposite. If you believe people never support me, look for even the smallest moments when someone did. Your subconscious needs proof to shift, and it doesn't require a dramatic breakthrough, just consistency. Each time you reinforce a new belief with real evidence, you shift your inner map. And with each shift, your energy signature becomes more aligned with the reality you want. Another profound tool is self-concept visualization. Rather than visualizing specific things, a car, a house, a partner, start visualizing the version of you who effortlessly lives the life you desire. Who is that person? How do they walk, speak, decide, and believe? Begin to wear that identity like a second skin. This is not pretending. This is rehearsal. When you align with the self who already has the result, your beliefs begin to adjust automatically. Because you're no longer trying to become someone new. You're remembering the truth of who you're capable of being. The most stubborn beliefs are often emotional. They live in the body as tension, resistance, or contraction. That's why healing modalities like meditation, breathwork, EFT tapping, or even trauma therapy can play a crucial role in manifestation. They help release the emotional glue holding old beliefs in place. As that energy softens, space opens for new truths to take root, not just intellectually, but vibrationally. Beliefs are powerful not because they are true, but because they're practiced. And the more practiced a belief, the more natural it feels. That's why limiting beliefs can feel like reality. But when you replace them with empowering beliefs, through repetition, emotional engagement, and embodied experience, you literally rewire your quantum signal. The field then begins to mirror your updated blueprint with matching experiences. It's worth noting that belief shifting is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice of inner alignment. But the more you do it, the faster the process becomes. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to recognize when an old belief is speaking and consciously choose a new one. Over time, your inner world becomes fertile ground for the future you're calling in. In the end, quantum manifestation isn't just about what you want. It's about who you believe yourself to be. You don't attract what you chase. You attract what you believe you are worthy of. And worthiness is not a condition you earn. It's a truth you choose to remember. When you believe you are safe, seen, and supported by the field itself, life begins to move in harmony with your highest vision. Belief isn't just mindset. It's frequency. And when your frequency rises, the universe doesn't need convincing. It simply responds. While thoughts shape the blueprint of your inner world, emotions are the energy that fuels it. If your thoughts are the architect of your reality, then your emotions are the construction crew, turning abstract intentions into tangible experiences through vibrational momentum. In the realm of quantum manifestation, emotion is not a byproduct. It is the bridge. It is the vibration the universe hears the loudest. When we talk about quantum fields, we're referring to a realm of pure potential, where every possibility exists simultaneously. What determines which possibility becomes your lived experience? Your frequency. And frequency is largely determined by the emotions you habitually embody. Just as a radio must be tuned to a specific frequency to receive a station clearly, your emotional state must align with the outcome you desire in order for the quantum field to bring it into being. The trouble is, most people live on emotional autopilot. They wake up and instantly relive yesterday, feeling the same worries, carrying the same stress, revisiting the same resentments. These emotional patterns aren't bad, they're just habitual, but they create a vibrational loop that perpetuates the same kind of experiences. The field responds faithfully. If you emit the frequency of frustration, you receive more circumstances that match it. If you carry the vibration of lack, opportunities will feel distant or blocked. This is where conscious manifestation begins to take root, not in thinking harder about what you want, but in learning to generate and sustain the emotional frequency of already having it. This is a subtle yet revolutionary shift. Instead of using manifestation to get something, you use it to become something. Someone who feels in harmony with the life they're creating, even before it arrives. Consider this. Every desire you have is tied to an emotional state. You don't want money for the paper, it's for the freedom, the ease, the security. You don't want love for the sake of it. You crave connection, intimacy, belonging. So, when you begin to embody those emotions now, before the condition shows up, you collapse the waiting gap. You stop chasing and start attracting. One of the most powerful emotional practices is gratitude, not as a performance but as a frequency of completion. Gratitude tells the quantum field, it is already done. And when you generate sincere gratitude for what's coming, as if it's already here, you begin to tune your body and brain to that reality. Studies show that genuine gratitude rewires neural circuits, enhances heart coherence, and raises vibrational energy to a measurable degree. It's not wishful thinking, it's quantum alignment. Joy, love, wonder, peace, these are high-frequency emotions that act like magnets in the field of possibility. But sustaining them doesn't mean ignoring your pain or pretending to be happy. True emotional alignment comes from integrating your shadow, not avoiding it. When you allow yourself to feel sadness, grief, or fear fully, and let those emotions move through you, you cleanse the system of resistance. And in that spaciousness, elevated emotions can rise naturally. You don't fake the light. You clear the static so you can hear it again. Breathwork, movement, music, meditation, these are not just wellness trends. They are tools for shifting frequency. When you move your body with presence, when you breathe with intention, when you meditate with surrender, you are raising your emotional baseline. You are no longer a prisoner of reaction. You become a conscious conductor of energy. Another vital practice is emotional rehearsal. Just as athletes rehearse the feeling of winning before a game, you can rehearse the emotional tone of your desired life before it physically appears. Sit with your future self. Ask, how do I feel in that reality? What does my body feel like? What thoughts arise naturally? What kind of confidence, ease, or peace would I live in? Then generate those emotions now, not because you're pretending, but because you're programming the field through vibration. Many people try to manifest from a state of need, lack, or desperation, and wonder why it doesn't work. That's because the frequency being broadcast is, I don't have it. The universe mirrors that signal. But when you embody fulfillment, joy, and trust now, the field reflects abundance. Not because you earned it, but because you aligned with it. Remember, the universe is not listening to your words, it's reading your signal. And that signal is carried through the body, through your nervous system, through your emotions. This is why inner work matters. Not because you're broken, but because you're an energetic being, and your vibration writes the script for your reality. One emotional state to cultivate above all else is trust. Trust opens doors the mind can't see. Trust allows the timeline to unfold in divine order. Trust dissolves resistance and keeps you rooted when nothing has manifested yet. When you trust the process, you stop interfering with the how. You stop asking, when will it come? And instead live in the frequency of it's already on its way. Ultimately, Emotional frequency is the quantum currency of your manifestation practice. You invest it daily through your reactions, your habits, your expectations. And like any investment, the return reflects the input. But unlike the stock market, this field is infinitely responsive and deeply personal. It knows what you're ready for. And when your emotions declare readiness, the field responds in kind. So don't just think your way into the future. Feel your way there. Live in the emotional tone of your vision until it feels like home. Because once your nervous system believes it's real, reality has no choice but to catch up. Up until now, we've explored how thoughts shape your inner landscape, how beliefs form the scaffolding of your reality, and how emotions act as the frequency you broadcast to the universe. But none of that fully manifests into the physical world without one final ingredient: action. And not just any action, aligned action. In the quantum field, aligned action is not about doing more. It's about doing with clarity, with purpose, and from an energetic place that already assumes the outcome is inevitable. Too often people get stuck waiting. They meditate, visualize, journal, and affirm, yet wonder why their reality hasn't shifted. That's because quantum manifestation is not a passive process. It's participatory. The universe responds to frequency, yes, but it also moves through form. And that form is you. You are the vessel. You are the translator between the quantum and the physical. That means your choices, your behaviors, and the way you show up day to day must reflect the inner alignment you've cultivated. Aligned action doesn't mean hustle. It's not forced. It's not rooted in panic or control. It arises naturally from the clarity of your intention. When your thoughts are clear, your beliefs are empowering, and your emotions are elevated, a new kind of action becomes possible. It's the kind of action that feels intuitive, like you're being led by something deeper than logic. You're not guessing. You're responding to subtle nudges, synchronicities, and openings that weren't visible before. Imagine a future version of yourself who already lives the reality you desire. How does that version move, speak, choose? What boundaries have they set? What habits have they built? Aligned action is about collapsing the gap between who you are and who you're becoming, by living as if that version is already true. When you walk, talk, and make decisions from that identity, the quantum field responds with confirmation. For example, if your intention is to become a confident speaker, aligned action may look like joining a local group or filming your first short video, not because you're ready, but because you're becoming. If your vision is to attract deep, authentic relationships, aligned action may look like having more honest conversations or releasing connections that no longer resonate. If your desire is financial freedom, aligned action might be tracking your income with mindfulness, seeking new learning opportunities, or finally starting the project you've been dreaming about for years. The key is to act from alignment, not anxiety. That means checking in with your emotional state before you take the step. Are you moving out of fear, scarcity, or desperation? Or are you moving from clarity, excitement, and trust? One action from alignment can do more than 100 frantic steps taken from fear. The field responds to the quality of your energy far more than the quantity of your effort. It's also important to remain flexible. The path may unfold in unexpected ways. Just because you took one step doesn't mean you can predict the next 10. Aligned action asks you to move when inspired and to rest when guided. It's a dance, not a checklist. And sometimes the most aligned thing you can do is pause, listen, and wait for the next signal. This is not laziness. It's trust in motion. Resistance often arises here. People wait for full clarity, total confidence, or guaranteed success before they act. But quantum manifestation doesn't work that way. The field responds to momentum. The first steps might feel wobbly, uncertain, even scary. But once you move, the next opportunity reveals itself. Action generates clarity, not the other way around. Just like turning the wheel of a bike creates balance, your first motion sets reality into motion. You'll also notice the universe starts meeting you halfway. You'll get a random invitation, a conversation that opens a door, a book that sparks a breakthrough, These are not coincidences. They are evidence that you've become visible to the field. Your frequency, once static, is now dynamic, and the universe, always listening, starts sending matching signals back. There will still be doubt. There will still be days when nothing feels certain. That's okay. Aligned action does not require the absence of fear. It simply asks that you move forward anyway, with presence, with intention, with faith that each step is a declaration. I am ready. You are not forcing the universe's hand. You are collaborating with it. And when the physical results begin to appear, whether slowly or all at once, you'll realize they are not random. They are not luck. They are a reflection of who you have become. Quantum manifestation is not about pulling reality to you. It's about moving toward it while knowing it's moving toward you too. This is the sacred loop. Think clearly, believe deeply, feel richly, act boldly, repeat. You don't just manifest things, you manifest yourself. And from that self, the rest of life flows. Your mind is not a passive observer. It's the creator of your experience. Now that you understand the mechanics of quantum manifestation, the next step is yours to take. Align your thoughts, trust your energy, and act with intention. The universe is already responding. If this guide inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to create their reality too. Leave a comment below. What reality are you manifesting next? Let's manifest together.